Expectations can seemingly become overbearing in our aspirations and authenticity. It's important that we focus on self-discovery and personal growth, embracing who we are at our core, ensuring our beacon of light crosses borders and nations. Betting on yourself means trusting your instincts, believing in your abilities, and having the courage to pursue your dreams irrespective of others' opinions. By consistently finding and nurturing that inner light, you empower yourself to navigate life with confidence and resilience. About a range of things from fashion awards, gender pay to sports, gender pay in sports, amongst other various things. So did you guys see the cfda awards? What is the event about? I thought, let me check. Well, I did a bit of research and I realized that the awards show is about celebrating designs from various artists and recognizing the contributions they have made to the industry. Many brands were in attendance alongside celebs, artists, and obviously influencers. Now, did you guys know it is an award show presented by Amazon? I didn't even know Amazon did things like this. Amazon to me is like an octopus. It has its tentacles everywhere, and I was just quite shocked, to be fair, that they hosted it, and I was even more amazed that they did even a range of clothing. So that's interesting to see. I didn't even know Amazon obviously did things like this. It apparently took place in the American Museum of Natural History in New York. But please tell me why it was hosted in a museum in the first place. It's quite an oddity, especially in the museum that it was hosted in the first place. In saying that the next fashion show should be hosted in the Victoria and Albert Museum, that would be essentially a great spot. It's a fantastic space, not just to kind of view art and things of that nature, but it's a great place to enjoy hot and obviously cold beverages. That's what I think. Many people were in attendance, but 305 and Reese actually shut down the show. Reese is literally everywhere, but 305, her look was absolutely flawless. Who are these people? Who are these people? One plays obviously ball, podcasting, and a series of other stuff, while the other is a rapper, fashionista, and I mean a real fashionista. I don't be mentioning people's names, but if you're listening long enough or following long enough, you will understand who I actually be talking about. But 305 is very artistic on her Instagram feeds, or even in her art covers for her music. She's absolutely sensational. Now, there were other people in attendance. There was Katie Holmes. She does not age at all, you know. She looked nice, but I got to be honest with you, right? Many people wore black, which is usually kind of a must have, and is usually kind of a bold color of choice. However, it was looking a bit more Tisha, yeah, from the Adams family, with some of the looks I found. I found it was looking kind of more Tisha. Anyway, with some outfits, I thought that there was going to be a music video because some of the way the artists were kind of dressed, but obviously that was not the case. It might have been obviously themed for everyone to wear black because everybody showed up wearing predominantly black, or black and white and black. There was not really much colour on the red carpet, but people that did wear colour absolutely looked amazing. There was a lot of black fits, and you know, wearing black is a kind of a stellar colour to have in your wardrobe. It's very bold, do you know what I mean? And you look like a bag of money normally when you wear black. But I just felt like the cfda awards was great, but it was nothing like the Met Gala at all. Blakey was there and Reese wore white. They both wore white and they both looked nice. Their look was not over the top. It was nice. It was demure, very cutesy. I think the biker retro look by 305 was well kind of thought out and put together. But I feel like 305 shut it down. The hair off the face had she just had that natural look about it. I don't be naming people, but if you follow American culture, you will be obviously well informed. Also, there's one artist who is just literally walking up. Very innovative, very creative, and I would love to see how she would look if she tries something else. But in saying that, if she did try something else, we wouldn't know her as who she is today. So yeah, and I think she won an award as well. I often feel when she obviously goes to awards shows, she obviously makes a statement of some kind. Oh yeah, Harlem's TT was there, and she looked nice. Her hair was absolutely amazing. I'm not usually a fan of cut outfits, but she represented and looked good. I'm realizing artists craft out their very own kind of distinctive looks, whether that be so that they're kind of easily recognizable by their fans, whether that be the outfits they wear, their kind of hairstyles that they do, or their favorite pop of color that they constantly wear. It's quite interesting. Anyway, I digress. You know what? I absolutely love American culture, not necessarily just because I've been there so many times, but I absolutely love it in terms of their authenticity. And there's kind of a lot of things to do and a lot of places to go and to actually have fun. I honestly feel with American culture, representation plays a large part as to why I obviously kind of gravitate to it a lot, especially in the women arena, because you have women in different facets of life, whether it be on talk shows, whether it be on podcasting, or whether they're on some sort of reality show. But whatever they're on is, for me, they more 90% of the time they're talking about substance. You know what I mean? Not hot air. It's not just nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Representation matters for me. And I'd be like, representation matters for me. And I'd be like, I can do this. It makes me feel like, bro, I can actually do this, you know? People just need to kind of stay out my way. If it's not positivity, leave me alone. Yeah, if it's not positive, to talk about the Pagani Haraya, but not focus on it too much, because the level of testosterone that seems to be attracted to my eye when I talk about cars is absolutely annoying. So I absolutely won't be talking about the Pagani Haraya. I had the opportunity to obviously go and view it. I decided not to because I wasn't able to test drive it. And I feel like with many high performance cars, you can't even test drive the car. There's only like, with that particular car, there's only like 100 in stock. So for the fact that you have the opportunity, exclusivity to something that is very prestige and stuff, is sensational, really. I feel like the starting point for that particular car is 1 million without customizations. Obviously, if you do customizations, you're looking at about 2.5 million, 3.5 million tops. But the car is absolutely sensational. But anyway, I digress. Now, driving around in a car that's worth 3.5 million, that's a lot. You could buy a stadium, a house, or even acres of land. It's a lot, but I digress. Now, I was watching Wake Your Ass Up early in the morning, the BB Club, and I was watching Mr. Power himself, and he talks about music and other kind of facets of his career with one of the co-hosts of the Breakfast Club. And I was chuckling because someone said, when the show was concluding, it was a very good show, by the way. When the show was concluding, one of the panelists said, oh, we got the Vice on the phone. Do you want to say something? He said, He said, not today. Then someone tried to ask him about his personal life. He was like, nah. The interview is over, it's over. He was just giving that his hugs, was like saying, no, I gotta go. I actually find him very hilarious. He talks a lot of, he's a man of substance. He comes across as a man of substance. Oh God, like I know him, I feel like I know him, but he comes across as a man of substance. He's a marketing genius. And I want to be enforced, like I've said this so many times, I want to be enforced. That show is so fire. It's in Chicago, one of my favorite cities. What? Anyway, I digress. Even though, right, JB has the best culture podcast of the year, I do think that it would be good to see one of the co-hosts, one of the most vocalist co-hosts on the Breakfast Club, on JB's show. Do you know why? Because they are both vocal. They're both very vocal individuals, and I think it will be epic and very good for the culture because they're very good at articulating themselves in a way that is clear, concise, and obviously to the point. and it'll be just, I feel like it'd be good for culture. Anyway, the whole thing I got from that convo at the Breakfast Club, right, was authenticity, and from Mr. Power himself. And obviously do it for yourself. You know who's really authentic right now in saying that? 901. You know what? Artists have got their own name, but I'm giving them a name. We're not easy. I'm telling you, she's really creative. What woman rapper grunts in songs? None. I think it's the fact that she says and does things people think about but don't really put in their kind of songs. I feel like she's put her own kind of spin on music and solidified herself as a 901 powerhouse. Because I'm telling you, rap music don't really bop like it used to, because everybody seems to be on maternity. But it's making me feel like I want to drop an album, because, you know, I can spit a couple bars, I think. Joking, I can't. Like, I want to drop a whole album with the things that people be saying in their songs. Like, I could get a ghostwriter, learn a few steps, 1 2 1 2. Do you know what I mean? Learn a little dance routine, drop a whole album. It's not that hard no more. Anyway, to drop an album, because some of these people are independent. But anyway, I digress. Child. Now onto women's sports, finally. So as you guys know, women's sports be epic to watch. Normally attention is drawn so much more to men's sports, but there is definitely an audience kind of for women's sports, not just people who attend the tournaments or anything like that, but viewership as well. Listen, if I don't see more women on TV talking about sports, cars, or whatever the case may be in the sporting arena, I will not be interested. That's the long and short of it. That's just the way it is. I feel like more women will probably be engaged in sports more if there was better representation both in and out of the game. I think women should be paid the same as men as well. Like, I was reading something the other day where I noticed on, like, so for example, what I've noticed on podcasts that have women and they talk about sports, and they also have men on the panel as well, is that they don't really allow women to kind of elaborate on their points or follow up with what they said without interjecting, which is obviously so annoying. I think this is why you see women in the NWA taking on so much other opportunities, more so than their male counterparts, because they're not really getting the same pay as their male counterparts, which doesn't make any sense. I feel like if an NWA's contract is 150 million for the year for a guy, it should be the same for a woman. I feel like Billie Jean championed that in tennis for women, and I think someone needs to do that for basketball, because that don't make no sense. I think these things, not even basketball, I think this just needs to be done across the board for sports. I think the whole ambience of sports reporting has changed. It's no longer about the technicalities of the game, but the whole ambience has changed as well when delivering obviously your opinions about the sport. For example, there's a trio up in Tribeca. I don't even know if they're in Tribeca, but I'm just saying Tribeca. But there's a trio up in Tribeca. Not only do they do a great job of obviously delivering discussions on, like, maybe on the NFL, that they are coming obviously on set with a presence already. Or the trio up in Tribeca. I don't even know if they're in Tribeca, but I'm just saying Tribeca. Not only do they do a great job of delivering discussions on, say, on the NFL, but they coming on set with tuxedos, they're coming on set with tuxedos and very cutesy and very demure dresses, because I feel as though they are essentially trying to turn it up a notch. Not just in terms of their delivery, but the audience in which they're trying to kind of deliver to. Do you know what I mean? What are we talking about? Are we talking about, when I say that, I mean, what do I mean by that? You are essentially trying to deliver content on sports that is of high value. So you want to exude high value. Does that make sense? So sometimes I feel like when I watch their show, I feel like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about sports, or are we talking about their CFDA awards? You automatically know, I feel like with some podcasting channels, you automatically know that when they're going to obviously be delivering content, it's going to be of high value. On the other spectrum of this, you have the likes of Righty and King, who's got totally different styles of reporting, very different styles of reporting, mind you, but very relaxed and I feel very traditional, but yet still very to the point.